Hello, everyone. This is Marketing 2312, e-commerce. I'll be your professor for this semester. My name is Christy Goler. I have a Master's of Science in Management from Texas A&M Commerce University. I just wanted to take a minute and kind of go over the syllabus with you, and we're going to talk a little bit about the class towards the end of the slides. I do want all of you to go back and read the syllabus thoroughly on your own time. It's located in the Start Here portion of your class. It's going to have all your Title IX and expectations from the school in it. So I'm sure you've all read it a million times, but go back and read it one more. This class is in an online format. Obviously, it's fall 2025, not 2024. Sorry about that. I forgot to change that. The purpose of the class is to explore electronics tools utilized in marketing, focus on marketing communications and developing customer relationships. Electronic tools to be explored include digital payment systems, advanced analytics, and social media management solutions. Students will also learn how to integrate e-commerce with traditional brick and mortar businesses through the use of inventory control software, shipping service interfaces, and customer relationship management software. I know those are a lot of big words and they might be scary, but don't worry. This is all basically kind of just introducing e-commerce to you guys. It's not going to be nearly as scary as it sounds. Okay, so I am an adjunct professor, which means I don't have an actual office at the college. So if anybody wants a face-to-face meeting with me, it's going to have to be virtually through Zoom. We can set up a time that we can mutually agree upon. I have no problems doing that. Emails. I travel a lot for work, so I tend to check my emails in the evening, every evening for sure. And then as possible, I will pop in time to time during the day to check emails, but I will always try to answer any emails within a 24-hour period. I encourage you to use Blackboard and Remind. The messaging service is there. Blackboard Messenger, any kind of class announcement I have to do is always going to be through Blackboard Messenger, and I am going to make sure that you guys get an email copy of that as well. But you're always going to want to check your Blackboard Messenger, ideally every day, but at least probably every other day. And then there's Remind. If you guys are having a problem that needs immediate attention, I suggest you download Remind and use that app, as it's basically just a messaging app, and I will immediately get the message that you need help, and I can try to help you right then and there if possible. Okay, so the resources for the class, there's your textbook information. You guys are going to need the textbook. It's available at the bookstore. You can try check, whatever, but hopefully you've already gotten it. This class, is with all classes at KC, runs through Blackboard. So everything you're going to do, all your assignments for this class, everything is going to go through Blackboard. Everything's going to be turned in through Blackboard. Supplemental materials, that's just, I have some videos attached, etc., etc. That's all considered supplemental materials. Anything that's in your units, anything that's attached there, you guys are going to want to at least go through and scroll through. I know it seems like a lot of reading material, but it's important for you guys to be able to fully understand and comprehend the material, that you read everything that's available there. Sometimes we have things that are presented in different ways. So one PowerPoint may have this information, another PowerPoint may have a separate type of information, but if you read it all, the point is that it's going to get some cohesion and you're going to be able to understand everything easier. And then obviously you're going to have a computer. Okay, so here's where your grades are going to be based off. This class doesn't have quizzes. It doesn't have tests. Instead of quizzes, you're going to have assignments. So for each unit, you're going to have assignments due. They're not multiple choice. They're not true false, which makes them not quizzes. These are all going to be answers that you fill in yourself. Then you're going to have some discussions. You have a discussion. Your intro discussion is due the this Thursday. That is also going to be how we measure attendance. So everyone, please make sure that you have the intro discussion due by Thursday at midnight, please, because that is how we mark your attendance in the class. That's why it says discussions will count partly towards your total attendance and participation grade. So if you don't do the discussion, especially the first discussion, we have to turn you in for non-attendance to the class. So your assignments are 25% of the grade, your discussions are 15% of the grade. The assignments are not hard. They are basically you read the book and you answer some questions. Discussions, attendance, not hard. Read the book, look at the PowerPoints, join the discussions. The discussions I expect to be on topic, pertinent, 2 sentences. Does not a discussion post make? They need to be thorough and address the subject that we're to be discussing. And in your replies, be respectful and be polite to your classmates. So you're going to have a midterm project. We'll go over that in a minute. That's 15%. Your final project is 30%. Your research papers are 50, or your papers. Sorry, I'm not trying to scare you. It's paper, research paper, and that's 15%. Okay, so here's your grading scale. This is a traditional class like any other. An A is anywhere from a 90 to 100. B is 80 to 89. You can read the rest. Where to find your grades. So they're going to be in Blackboard, right? So this class, you're not going to get an immediate grade typically on what you turn in because everything has to be graded individually. My goal is within 3 days of you turning in your assignments, your grades will be posted. That's the goal. Okay, so here's your units, week 1, week 2, week 3. As you can see, it's a pretty easy breakdown. So you got to read the chapter to complete the discussion, complete the assignment. The first unit, you're not going to have as much work to do, but you're going to have that original discussion post that's due on Thursday. Everything is due on Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. with the exception of your final paper, which is going to be due the week of finals. So everything is due Sunday, 11:59 p.m. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the midterm. Your midterm is going to be a SWOT analysis, which is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I primarily teach business classes, and I think a SWOT analysis fits well into this e-commerce marketing course. If you're wanting to start a business and utilize e-commerce and marketing in that business, the first thing you have to do is do a SWOT analysis, right? Just like any other, even a brick and mortar business that has zero desire to be part of e-commerce. Everything starts with a SWOT analysis. So you're going to pick a business to set up, hypothetically, and then you're going to research the industry. You're going to perform a SWOT analysis to examine like what the barriers to entry are. What's the competition look like? What would make your product unique? And you're going to start to think about how you would market your business using e-commerce, right? So we're going to pick a hypothetical business. It could be dog walking, it could be candle making, it could be car wash detail kit. I don't know what you guys, I mean, anything, right? Anything. Um, so while you're performing the SWOT analysis and really looking into the industry of where you would be entering, start looking at their marketing in that industry and how you could use some of the ideas that are already in place, what you would do differently. Just start looking at that kind of stuff because that's going to tie into your final. And I'm going to encourage you guys, utilize your friends and family. So when you're going to do this SWOT analysis and you're making up this business, you don't have to do it all by yourself, right? Because if you were really in a business, you might have a partner, you might uh, have multiple partners. People don't tend to do things in isolation. So you can bounce ideas off your husband, your wife, your brother, your aunt, your neighbor, somebody you go to church with, somebody you're on the football team with, and it's going to make it more fun for you and it's going to make it more realistic. You don't have to do it all on your own, right? So you may think of two things that are your strengths, but you're not somebody who's like, okay, well, I'm great at speaking, or I'm a wonderful artist, or I'm any of those things, but somebody else might be able to give you a different perspective. What are weaknesses? What are your opportunities? What are your threats, right? So you can go to outside people and ask them for help on the assignment. I say help, but it's just more or less their input and get a good idea, flesh it out a little bit. Okay, so we're going to move on to your research assignment. You're going to have 7 possible topics. Okay, I'm not going to make you guys use Safe Assign on this. It's fine. It's just a 1-page paper. It's not like a thorough, huge 10-page research assignment. This isn't a history class or a government class, right? Or English. I would like you to use at least one outside resource, and I want you to cite it. APA is preferred. It's fine. If anybody doesn't know how to use APA by now, you can look up Citation Machine and it's going to help you. I don't care if you use a website, your textbook, whatever you want to use, but I would like to see that you did some research and cite at least one source. Okay, and then on to the final. It's going to be about what kind of business you would like to start, right? So it ties back into the SWOT analysis. So the SWOT analysis gives us a good idea of where we stand and what our strengths are particularly, right? And how are we going to market ourselves? So then you're going to create a 6 to 7 slide PowerPoint that's going to conclude the e-commerce marketing strategy. You're going to have an overview. Who's your target audience? What e-commerce platforms will you be utilizing? What's your content strategy? How are you going to measure and analyze what the results are? I want you to design it like you're going to pitch your business to the board of directors. I'm not going to tell you what kind of format to use on PowerPoint. I just want you guys to be creative, but also be professional. If you want it to be colorful, that's fine. If you want it more straightforward, that's fine. If you want to add a video clip in it, that's great. Any kind of artwork, that's fine. Whatever you want to do, just make sure that the end result is one that you would be willing to pitch in front of a group of leaders hoping to finance your project or hoping to greenlight your project. So that's really all that it's about. I know that a lot of you are going to be introduced to terminology you're not used to. You're not, and some of the topics may seem overwhelming, but this is just an intro to e-commerce. It gives you an overview. It gets your feet wet. It gives you an idea of what to expect. Don't stress out. Everything will be fine. stay on task. I am going to open up, basically all of the assignments are open. You can go through, you can look, you can see what's coming up. If you guys want to work independently and get a little bit of a head, that's fine. The due dates are solid due dates. If you want to do more of the work early on, that's fine too. I do suggest that starting week 1, you guys start working on your midterm. After the midterm's done, start working on your final. Start working on your research paper. Don't wait till the last minute for these things. That's why I'm opening everything up, so you can see what the class is about. You can see what topics you need to really start looking into. Do not get behind. Due to the nature of the course, you're going to have problems if you don't stay on top of the class. That being said, life is life. Life is what it is. If any of you have problems, if any of you have issues like death in the family, your internet cable was disconnected or cut, or you've been in a car wreck, anything like that, please let me know. We can try to work something out. Maybe move a due date. Obviously the final is a hard and fast because it has to be turned in on time, so that way I can grade it. Midterm needs to be turned in on time, but if you're going to be late on an assignment or something, just let me know and we can try to work it out. Don't skip an assignment and then get down on yourself and be like, well, now I'm going to fail, and don't ever come back to the class. I'm fairly reasonable, so just reach out to me and let me know. Periodically during the semester, I'm going to be adding different content, video here, video there, maybe an article here and there. Just check back every week. I'll keep you guys apprised to what I'm loading or adding and when I do it. Other than that, I hope we all have a great semester. This is a pretty interesting class and a very pertinent topic. And I hope you have fun in the class.